welcome to the Florida Person Podcast, where we found the weirdest news stories on the internet and we've got them all for you this week.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Jackie Schwartz.
I'm Meg Gallagher.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Florida person. Florida person. Florida person.
I saw Barbie not once. I saw Barbie twice.
So you did a Barbie, not a Barb-en-Heimer, but a Barbie double. You did
Barbie
you see it on the
squared.
same day? Not
No,
the same day, no.
It was. I saw it with Chris on a Monday matinee, which was hilarious because there was like 12 children in the audience, children, which was really funny because I was like, "What is?" I never
quite
saw
a
it.
children's film, but it's not offensive for children.
I would say it's a little edgier than Shrek. Honestly,
it's edgier, but I think a lot of the stuff will go over kids' heads for the most part.
100%.
So, it's probably fine.
It is the type of movie that the kids will really they liked it. They liked it. And they were reacting to things I'm I know you don't understand what a fascist is because you were 7 years old. But when Barbie was called a fascist, these little kids went, ah! No.
I mean, they might have, millennial parents who
who make that a big deal. But and they were with it the whole movie. There wasn't a kid running around the theater or anything. We loved it. Over the weekend we watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which I haven't seen. I have not seen that. No. I haven't seen that since I was a child. I saw that
how could you?
I saw that in the theater.
That's
when I
one
was
of my top 5 favorite movies.
I saw that in
Rabbit.
the theater and I absolutely adored it. And I felt this is going to be like how Barbie was, where it's I loved that movie as a kid and I watched it so many times as a kid, but watching it as an adult, I'm
you
oh
get
my God,
so much more.
This is it's such
raunchy,
a wonderful movie.
Yeah.
And it's in a way where if you're a kid, you're not getting these jokes and inferences about Eddie Valiant being an alcoholic. I'm I missed that whole part.
Yeah.
There's just or the
sexual undertones
or public transportation being replaced by
super
highways. I'm I never got that.
Oh, that's my favorite thing. When he hops on the red car line, he goes, "Who would ever need a car in LA?"
Yes. Oh my God.
It's so meta in the best way.
That movie was so important to me. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. I even have a framed who framed Roger Rabbit, a framed picture in my other room.
Oh really?
I love it. Yes.
I have the shooting script for it.
Oh gosh, somehow. That's awesome. There's actually a comic book. I have to send you the comic book.
Oh yeah, there was I think the original author wrote 2 books. It was Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I think the other one was Who Plugged Roger Rabbit, that I have bought but I never got around to reading it. I saw Barbie again on Wednesday. And I took my parents to the iPic theater that has the restaurant thing going on where they come out and they're would you like to eat something? So the tickets are more expensive, so there weren't children.
Yeah. That's hilarious. I saw Barbie. I haven't seen Oppenheimer. I feel like I have to.
Oh yeah, I gotta see Oppenheimer in the IMAX.
I just feel I want to see it. I'm ready to see it, but I feel I did not want to do the double feature, the Barb-en-Heimer double feature, because I'm that's too long. I already know I'm gonna have to get up and pee during Barbie. Oppenheimer, I'm gonna have to pee 6 times. Also, I know Oppenheimer is very it's a technical movie. There's a lot of conversations. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think I could go from Barbie to Oppenheimer. Maybe Oppenheimer to Barbie, but I didn't make that decision. However, I had a separate, my Barbie experience was so frustrating. The movie's great. Nothing to do with the movie. I loved everything about it.
I loved it.
Somebody brought a baby, like to the movie, and she screamed and cried and was like climbing like on like the seats and like babbling the whole time. And it was like a full theater. And everybody was getting really annoyed, but then when you looked at the woman who had this baby, she was like built like a brick house. It was like, and she had like a face tattoo and stuff, and it was like, well, no one's fucking with her. I guess your baby's just gonna cry and scream, because I wanted to be like, but then I looked at her and I was like, oh, no, not messing with her. Like,
jeez.
Like, that woman, like, she'll, like, beat your ass if you talk about her baby or something. So I didn't say anything. I just was like, well, great.
I guess, in that situation. I think I might see Oppenheimer on Friday. My sister has seen it twice, because it's definitely up her alley. She loves like things like that, and she said that it's pretty scary when I guess they do a big boom. They do a big boom. So I want to see it in the IMAX. So I think I'm gonna go.
You have to see it in Friday. A certain type of IMAX, but I think if you go to the IMAX, like, that's the right time. That's what Christopher Nolan intended you to see it as.
Yes, yeah.
I'm probably not going to do that. I'm probably just going to see it at my local theater, because I still have like points in Movie Pass, and I'm going to use those up. So.
Oh yeah, I think I'm going to go on Friday. Chris doesn't want to see it because he's like, that movie's too long.
It is like 3 hours. It's like seeing like Lord of the Rings or something. But
I feel like I gotta go to see this movie, so I'm a part of the conversation.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. So I wanted to talk about the Barb-en-Heimer thing, right? The story behind Barb-en-Heimer, the summer's most online movie showdown. So the whole reason that got started is like, it's just because they were released on the same date. All like July 21st was the release date. Yeah. I don't think that it was necessarily at first like a marketing thing, right?
No, it was completely an organic,
by chance. Yeah,
an organic thing, much like the Grimace milkshake meme, how that went into the horrific territory, like a scary thing. That was like an organic thing that then McDonald's was like, oh, okay, we'll go with it.
Yeah, like they're getting views, and like especially for movies, like, movies have been like plummeting like in theaters, like even ones that people wanted to see and stuff like that. It's just like they just haven't been doing well, because like people just don't go out to the movies quite as often as they used to. Rightly so, because movies are really expensive. Like, unless you get like an AMC like Stubs or a Movie Pass or something like that, like there's no way I'm paying like $17 like just by chance to go see some things. If I really want to see it and it's really like a movie event, then yes. But like if it's just like, I don't know, like I want to go see Haunted Mansion for Danny DeVito, and because I love the Haunted Mansion. But then I'm also like, I wouldn't pay $17 for that.
No. Why didn't they release that in October? Why?
Yeah, missed opportunity. Kind of weird. Why? And also, like a late summer release, it's kind of weird to do, but we'll see. Anyway, so it says it's not uncommon for studios to counter-program films in different genres on a big weekend, but the stark differences between an intense, serious-minded picture about the man who oversaw the development of the atomic bomb and the light-hearted, candy-color anthropomorphizing, I know that word, I have a hard time saying it,
of a
childhood doll quickly became the stuff of viral fodder. There's even some disagreement over whether it's Barb-en-Heimer, Barb-en-Heimer, Boppenheimer. No one says Boppenheimer. Cross that one out, AP. This is from the AP, because it's either Barb-en-Heimer or Barb-en-Heimer, as I've heard. Mostly Barb-en-Heimer.
I say Barb-en-Heimer.
No, there you go. Okay, so I say Barbie.
I'll accept the other one. I just won't accept Boppenheimer.
Boppenheimer? No one says that. Or yet another tortured portmanteau, a phenomenon on which the AP style book has yet to offer guidance, but for the purposes of this article, we'll be calling Barb-en-Heimer. So they agree with you. They're calling it
Oh, good.
Barb-en-Heimer.
I have like a tank top that has it on them both. I got like in honor
Yeah,
of it. It's
that's
like
amazing. I should
I
get
do.
that.
I do.
I want like a
Somewhere.
Kennergy shirt.
Oh, yes.
It didn't hurt that both Nolan and Gerwig have very passionate and online fandoms eager to join in. Never mind that many of those fans overlap. The memes, the allegiances, and the T-shirts were just too fun. So basically, this is going to be the problem, though. So now that the studios have found out that this was a way to get a lot of people in. Like AMC Theaters reported that 20,000 of its AMC Stubs members had purchased tickets for a double feature. If you're counting the 294 minutes of movie watching, so huge
Wow.
profit maker for movie theaters. They really like cashed in on it, and good for them. It's like, like as a business, I got nothing against
Yeah,
movie
I think
theaters.
I
Like,
think AMC, they said that they made more money than they ever had, like, in the history of their
yeah, it's like
company,
that
and that
release.
yeah, within
So,
yeah.
but this is the problem, right? This is the problem. They're going to try and replicate this
Ew, I saw
because
already.
yeah. So
Did you
there's a
see?
Paw Patrol movie,
Yes.
and Saw. The next Saw
Yeah,
movie is
it's
coming up, and they're calling it
it's
Saw
just
Patrol.
it's just I was so embarrassed when I saw that, and it's like
And they're
it's
trying so hard.
it's not gonna work. Like, the thing that makes the Barbie Oppenheimer experience, the Barbenheimer phenomenon happen is because they're both subjects that had changed the world. Barbie, the introduction of that doll, changed the world. It changed culture. Oppenheimer, what he was responsible for, changed the world, changed the culture. And then you have both of those on the same day. That's the thing that
It's
made
not.
it.
It can't just be any movie.
No, it can't. It wasn't
They have to
just,
be two
oh,
movies that
it's not
people care
like,
about.
yeah, it's not like something, funny and something scary. It's like, no, this is like, these are world changing events, basically. The creation of Barbie and the creation of like Oppenheimer's atomic bomb and everything. And so that juxtaposition is what made it uh interesting and also made it something that you can joke about.
Yeah.
And
So it's
that Saw
also,
Patrol is like, come on, what are
well,
we?
first
There,
off, it's
you're
like
like, we're
they're
not
not
babies.
big name thing, and also like no one's
No,
gonna go see a Paw Patrol movie and Saw. It has to be something that
no,
people want to see. Also, the thing was, the parent company that owns Paw Patrol and Saw Patrol, it's the same thing. They changed the release date on, I think, like Saw to make it on the Paw Patrol day.
yeah,
So
and it's like,
they're trying
yeah,
to do it, like they're trying to make it happen, but it's like such an executive, like,
well,
let's try and print some money,
yeah,
guys.
and it also goes again. It's. I think the idea of Saw Patrol and the marketing of it is just disgusting to anybody that hadn't had any interest in, the people that were interested in watching Barbie and Oppenheimer are not people that are going to be interested in another Saw movie because that's, there've been so many Saw movies and they're not
Yeah.
gonna they may be watching it, like,
Well, these
when
are
it comes
two
out on streaming,
eventful movies that happen to
and
come out on the same
yes.
day.
Yeah,
That's what made it a thing.
and Paw Patrol, those people aren't gonna care about Paw Patrol. They're not gonna care about that weird propaganda, weird doggy show.
Oh, no. Well, it's Paramount Pictures. So it's Paramount Pictures. They're trying to get Saw Patrol to trend. And they changed the date just so they would be on the same day to try and reenact this phenomena. And everybody's just grilling the shit out of them for it
Yeah,
because they're like,
it's
you clearly
mm,
didn't understand what made this a thing. But
no.
this isn't gonna be the only one. They're gonna start
No,
trying to
they're
release
gonna
these on the same
try
day. They
they're
want it
gonna
to
try
happen.
and doing that. They're gonna try and do that. I don't know, I'll have to see when that Leonard Bernstein biopic comes out, maybe there's like another movie that will be coming out at the same time that's like, I don't know. That's only something that I could think that could possibly ever work.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It depends what
It
else
would
is
just
working.
have to be like two eventful movies. These were two movie events. That was the difference. They're two movie events, and there's a lot of people like myself that would overlap where I'm interested in seeing both anyway. You know?
Yeah, and they were good movies. That's the thing that was so
That's
exciting.
The thing too. They're
That's
good
why
movies.
they were. It was like a competition because it's like, wow, they're both good movies. Interesting subjects about these, also such difficult subject matter that it was exciting to see what was going to happen.
Oh, for sure. So there you go, just a mention of it, a warning, if you will, a warning, if you please, to a trend that you're going to see, I'm sure, more and more until everybody's so sick of it and it just ruins the whole thing, and it'll probably just like everybody's just going to be so sick of it that then we'll not look back fondly on it because we're just annoyed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's the big guy ruining it for everybody again. Ugh. So, just whatever.
Oh my gosh. There was a big old crime thing that happened down here.
Down here in Florida?
Yes, down in Florida, in Delray Beach.
That's right near you.
Yeah. There were, on July 21st, there were 3 suitcases found, like, just bobbing down the waterway of the Intercoastal.
Okay.
They got the suitcases. And what did they find in the suitcase?
Body or drugs?
Body.
Oh.
Body parts. So, when Florida cops found a woman dismembered in 3 suitcases along the Intercoastal Waterway, there was no telling if and when they would catch the killer. The victim's name was a mystery. Investigators had to resort to making a reconstruction of her face and released pictures of her clothes and suitcases. The answer, however, was pretty much around the corner. The victim, now identified as, okay, first of all, let me tell you, when they released the photo of like what they assumed the female victim looked like, they said that they thought maybe she was a woman in her 30s to 50s. The victim was Adil Barbosa Fontes, 80 years old.
What?
80 years old.
How do you make that mistake? Are we really this bad at our jobs?
They were so off. But I did see a photo of her, and she did look really, really good. It's
like,
really,
I'm sure she's gorgeous, but like, don't we do like some sort of DNA like dating on like? Or like even dental records or something, or like no matter how good you keep yourself, like you're still scientifically.
I don't know if it's like, now I'm thinking, I'm like, well, did they just release that so they could like, the killer like would
come out and be like
would be like, ooh, I can relax and really like let myself go. Well, you know who killed her?
Yeah.
Freaking husband. Alleged murderer. Wow. William P. Lowe Jr., 78. You're 78 years old.
Yeah,
why are you killing your 80-year-old wife? That is so awful. Oh, so when the story broke, like on the 21st, they were like, this is a mystery. We don't know who did it. But when he was arrested, then they released the whole like story from what had happened. So on that, I guess there was a suitcase that had a sticker of the name Barbosa on there. So they had like a clue about who could that be. Yeah, more grisly discoveries emerged from the waterway. The following day, police found a tote-type bag tied shut with twine that contained the victim's head. And they identified her later through dental records, finding a single gunshot wound behind her ear with the exit wound behind the opposite ear, which I guess maybe she was murdered in her sleep. But who could the killer be? He was very close, according to the cops. So a lot of witnesses saw this guy. 2 separate couples and 3 men doing roof work all claimed to see an older white man with a gold sedan hanging about near where another witness found the third suitcase. The roof workers said the vehicle mystery man was driving a Ford. One of the couples said the stranger looked into the waterway for several days before July 21st. They stated he appeared to be looking at the suitcases in the water. And they saw him 5 or 6 times in that same
went,
period.
Back to the scene.
Yeah.
Just, looking at his work or something. Ew.
The male witness told police he asked the man what he was looking for. The stranger allegedly claimed to be waiting for the big boat to come into the harbor.
Okay.
Okay. The witness told him, however, that no big boats came in because the harbor was too shallow. Like, this is the intercoastal. So there's no big boats coming in.
What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about?
The male witness questioned the stranger about which boat he was waiting for. The stranger pointed to a boat across the waterway and said, "A boat like that." Appearing nervous, the stranger immediately walked to his car, the same older model gold sedan, and left the area. The roof workers saw him on July 21st, the day the suitcase was found. They described the stranger standing on the seawall looking at the suitcase. "Shit," he allegedly said, then immediately left in his car.
Wow.
So,
well, that's okay, this is the thing. It's such I don't want to be ageist, but that's a little bit of a senile kind of moment in your murder, right? You're like, did I gotta go back and check real quick. Let me check that I definitely threw her body in. Did I? I can't remember. That's such a senior moment to have during your murder.
It's a area also where there's a lot of cameras in that area because people have boats
They probably
there.
wouldn't get that either.
No.
You probably wouldn't be thinking of that if you're 78, wife murdering fool. But you're on camera all the time now, so don't murder because you'll get caught.
Surveillance footage showed a white man with gray hair climbing down a residence dock ladder at 7:04 a.m. on July 20th. The male then climbed back up the ladder and walked out of the area of the surveillance. Footage also showed him climbing down the ladder later that day at 4:13 p.m. Shirtless, the man carried what seemed to be a Cheesecake Factory bag that appeared to have some kind of weight to it. He also had the same metal pole with him. He climbed down out of the shot, then reemerged without the bag. The thing when you live in South Florida is you're going to see a lot of old shirtless men.
Yeah, that is. Or if you go to the LA Fitness in North Hollywood here, you're also going to see a lot of old shirtless men just hanging out at the little spa area, not working out, just hanging out. So just something I noticed recently, that's all.
With all that information, they were able to, track him down with his address and everything and gave him his Miranda rights. Post Miranda, Lowe allegedly claimed his wife had been in Brazil because she was originally from Brazil, is what appears to be. That name is apparently a common first name for older ladies in Brazil. Mm-hmm. And he says that she was in Brazil for 3 weeks and he didn't know how she got to the airport. He said he didn't remember when the last time he spoke to her either. And when they executed a search warrant, they found blood spatter pretty much everywhere. The living room, dining room, hallway, both bathrooms, and the master bedroom. There was blood in the master bath shower drain. There was blood in the tub of the second bathroom. They also found drag marks in the living room, hallway, and master bathroom. On top of that, Lowe allegedly tried returning home during the execution of the search warrant, attempting to enter the rear window before officers stopped him. He claimed he was just trying to get his phone and his keys from the storage unit,
Of
cops said.
course.
Detectives checked out the storage unit, and they found pretty horrifying stuff there. They found the chainsaw, which had blood, bone matter, flesh, and hair on it.
Ooh. For some reason, it's like really gross to think of like an old man with the chainsaw, like doing like Leatherface kind of shit.
It's so.
I don't know why. I'm like, oh no,
It's
no.
so awful. It's
Because
like,
I guess anybody can be
why?
awful with it, but it's also. Do we know how long he like spent with his wife? Because somehow that's even worse.
Well, one of the neighbors of the couple told investigators she had not seen Fontes for a couple of weeks. The neighbor also relayed some recent suspicious incidents. In one, her dogs barked one morning, early in the morning, and she claimed to hear Lowe's apartment door open and close, and that was unusual activity. Um, she says she and another neighbor said that Lowe's sister lived in an apartment 1 story up from his. One of them said she had never seen her, however, and another said she had not seen his sister in more than 2 years. So I'm like, is his sister also, like, did he kill his sister like years ago?
Maybe.
And this is the part that's most memorable for me. One of those neighbors said that she saw a trail of what she thought was soup leading from the doorway of Lowe's apartment through the hallway, up the stairs, and to the door of his sister's apartment.
Oh, honey, it's not soup. It's definitely not soup.
How innocent that is. What an innocent thing to think. Like, how much soup would you need? Like,
and who's like spilling all the soup all over just a trail of soup? It's it's like the people when they're like, I thought it was a mannequin, but it was a body, and you're like, it's never a mannequin. It's never soup. It's never soup.
It's never soup.
It's never soup.
A maintenance manager backed up this story, saying he cleaned the trail with a 409 cleaning agent. But we know that does not destroy
notice
everything.
That it definitely wasn't soup? Was he like, this soup is thick? This is like, almost like it's a blood-based soup. It's
oh my gosh, I don't know.
I bet it was some weird thing where they're like these like old weird foreigners and they're strange food.
Oh my gosh.
They're like, maybe it's like Eastern European kind of like.
I know, maybe that's what, I don't know.
Like maybe it's
blood
soup.
Definitely there's still, I'm sure, biological matter, because 409 cleaning agent doesn't clean everything up. I learned that from forensic files. So they executed a search warrant on the sister's apartment. So the defendant remains held without bond at the Palm Beach County Jail for a count each of murder in the first degree and abuse of a dead body. So I don't know anything about, they said that man is a business owner. They don't say anything about his wife, the victim, and they haven't said anything else about this story since it was released on August 3rd, which I'm like, would think that a story like this, I have so many questions about.
I have questions.
It's so mysterious.
I have questions mostly about the soup. At what point were they... at what point did they go, okay, we're just lying to ourselves? There's no way this is soup. Right? Also, what soup did they think it was? What soups have they seen that would make them believe that like body matter and blood might be a soup?
Well, the only thing I could think of is that maybe everybody involved with thinking it was soup and cleaning up what they thought was soup, like, had some issue with like their sense of smell or something, because I don't understand how that could possibly ever be mistaken for soup unless you can't smell anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, like, blood doesn't look like soup, even at its many stages of like breaking down, like the hemoglobins or whatever,
No,
when
because
they
it would just
start
be this
breaking down.
dark
Doesn't look like soup.
brown, like, stuff. Ugh.
I mean, I guess okay, hold on. I'm gonna Google. I'm gonna get like on an FBI watch list for this blood soup and see if like there's, I don't know. Oh, there's okay.
I'm
Well,
sure
no.
I'm sure there's maybe.
There's Polish duck or goose blood soup, but what does that look like? What does that look like? Well, okay, that does look pretty bloody kind of soup. Okay, if they had assumed that it was raw pig blood soup or raw blood soup,
Oh.
Vietnamese. I guess there's boy oh boy,
Oh,
there's
I guess
actually a lot of blood
looks,
soups.
yeah, it looks like every
Every
culture
one of
has
these
some
soups.
sort of soup. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, if
Yeah.
I support
I
if
find
people
it a
like
bit
those
foul. Like,
soups.
yeah, everybody eat what you want to eat, but I guess for me, unless like I was really familiar with these blood soups, I would just think it was blood. I would immediately be like, oh boy, we really
Oh
gotta
boy.
we gotta investigate here. We gotta be calling some authorities because this is straight up blood, y'all. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Some of these
I
look
guess
like
maybe.
blood soup. They look
I
like you would
guess.
imagine. So if you Google
Yeah.
blood soup, you'll get
Oh,
it too,
yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah, I
Anyway, it's
guess.
never soup. It's never soup. Don't assume that. Assume the worst and then, pull it back from there.
Especially I would say the one that looks the most like blood, I guess, would be the Polish duck blood soup. That's the one that's
Yeah.
like the craziest one. The other ones look actually like, the other ones look fine. They look fine. I'd eat them probably.
Yeah, I mean, I would eat like some of it just looks like tomatoey almost,
Yeah,
and you
but that
like or
one
like
looks
a
like that.
minestrone.
Yeah, that one does not look like something I'm gonna.
Yeah, the raw pig blood soup. I don't think I'm into that one either. All right. Well,
Okay. Yeah, so
I'm
that
done
was
with this subject.
the true crime thing that has happened, and I feel very badly for the
I feel
victim and
bad
her
for the
family because
victim.
I'm sure that her family she sounds like she has family in
Do
Brazil.
you know how many
That
people have like found bodies in suitcase? It's almost like if you see a suitcase in the water, you know what that is at this point.
Oh my gosh. And then what
You
the
know
thing
what
is,
that
like,
is.
if they see a mannequin, well, it seems to me like in a lot of news stories I see somebody, they think it's a mannequin but it's a body. But then if they think it's a body, it's a mannequin.
Yeah.
I'm just avoiding the whole thing.
Yeah. My friends in Las Vegas where staying with them, they just have like a mannequin like dress form because like she sells like stuff on Poshmark, and so she has like a mannequin dress form, but she has it's like a gorilla mask, like one of those Halloween gorilla masks, like the latex ones that go all the way over your head. Is just like sitting on the top of it. And there were like 3 times that I woke up in the middle of the night and was like, God, something's in the room. And so, if you want to scare your friends, I didn't like
Oh
it.
my
I don't like it.
gosh. Scary.
This is just all weird stories this week. So, coming out of the AP again, our bears are real, a Chinese zoo says, denying that they are humans in disguise. I don't know if you've heard
saw
about
that
this.
photo. I saw the photo, I saw the videos, and bears, they look like very human like when they're standing up.
It's because
especially the skinny ones, especially like the thinner bears.
Well, they're sun bears, right? And sun bears are like they're weirdly thin. They do look like a brown bear with like a nice like white kind of like patch on his chest that has been on a diet, like an extreme like Hollywood like Atkins kind of diet because they're skinny, but that is how they are, and they have like baggy skin. So when they stand up on their hind legs, which bears can do, all the bears can do that.
Yeah.
It looks it looks like a dude in a bear suit, except for like around the head. Around the head,
Well,
it still looks like a bear.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like silly. I know it does. He's like, hello. Oh,
But
he
that's the
doesn't even.
thing.
I'm just glad he doesn't know that we're all making fun of him.
It's actually it's a little miss. It's a miss. It's so I'll get into it. I have the video that I'll link on it. But yeah, oh my god, it does from the side, but I think from the front, like I don't know how you could recreate the bear head so good. So believe it, it is a bear. It is a bear, but it's hilarious looking. So Beijing, a zoo in eastern China, is denying suggestions that some of its bears might be people in costume after photos of the animals standing like humans circulated online. The sun bears from Malaysia are smaller than other bears and look different, but are the real thing, the Hangzhou Zoo said on Monday on its social media account. Some people think I stand like a person, said the posting written from the bear's point of view. It seems you don't understand me. It seems you don't understand me very well. That's how they disputed it, which is even funnier. They're like, this is written by the bear.
Oh, we have a statement from the bear.
That's a statement from the bear. An employee who answered the phone at the zoo declined to talk about the bears, but said visits were being arranged for reporters Monday to see them. This was on July 31st when this article came out and when this all blew up.
Oh my gosh.
Internet users questioned whether the zoo's bear were real after photos circulated showing one standing upright on slender hind legs. Because of the way they stand, some people online question whether they are humans in disguise. Sun bears are the size of large dogs, standing about 1.3 meters or 50 inches tall on their hind legs, compared with 9 feet for grizzlies or other species. Other Chinese zoos have been accused of trying to pass off dogs dyed to look like wolves or African cats and donkeys painted to look like zebras in the past. So it's not... totally out of the question that they would lie.
But then there's also the other with photo videos of the bear where the bear's waving.
Yeah.
But it's like we've seen so many videos of bears waving. Like they used to have like the famous Russian trained bears for like such a long period of time. Bears, they like to wave.
Look,
oh my gosh.
It looks sus, but I think this one it is a bear. It is funny because when you do look at the other pictures of like the faked animals, it's so obvious. There's like no room for question. Like the fake dog that they were trying to pass off. Another Chinese zoo did this like a year ago, where it was just a chow dog that they dyed like his mane to look like darker, like a lion's mane, and then we're saying it was a lion. And it's like, no, that's a chow chow. That's not a lion. No way, no how. And it's funny because, like, you know, chow chows are like an Asian dog species, so it's like people would definitely recognize that.
Yeah,
like you can't fool them, dude. Like, and they've also done it like to look like wolves or like donkeys painted like zebras. It's like they've hoodwinked before, so they don't have people got trust issues.
Oh my gosh, it's funny that you are talking about that because I guess we'll finish with another bear story.
Oh, I love the double bear feature. It's like a boppin' bear.
Boppin', exactly. And we've spoken about this bear before.
Oh gosh.
Black bear burglar Hank the Tank arrives at Colorado sanctuary. The large black bear, Hank the Tank, responsible for at least 21 break-ins in South Lake Tahoe, arrived at a Colorado wildlife sanctuary after California officials captured her and her 3 cubs. A lady.
Aww. Yeah, that's the thing, too. It's like no one can believe that Hank the Tank is... gosh, there's no good girl names that will rhyme with tank.
Oh yeah. She's gonna live on a 230-acre natural habitat at known as the Wild Animal Refuge. The facility is a 10,000-acre refuge for rescued wildlife, and Tank will live there for the rest of her life. The refuge is as close to the same environment she came from, I guess, without homes that she's breaking into.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely doesn't have the free buffet that she's used to, but that's what they got to get her away from.
And
Because
she'll live
I
with
heard that she
other.
was gonna, they were worried she was gonna teach her bear cubs to like
Yes.
do exactly how she does, like because they teach their
Yes.
cubs, and she's like, actually, let me show you guys something real easy.
Carry on my legacy. She will live with other rescued black bears. She was safely transported, and the little let me see. But they have her 3 cubs. The cubs were safely transported to Sonoma County Wildlife Rescue. The goal is to rehabilitate them. The time that can take varies. They will continue to be assessed to make sure they'll make it in the wild before they would be released. Okay, so her children may be released into the wild.
Yeah.
Then, she earned the moniker Hank the Tank last year after a string of break-ins in South Lake Tahoe. DNA evidence confirmed that at least 2 other bears were involved in the break-ins, which resulted in
Accomplices.
extensive property damage and more than 150 calls to the police. Look at that.
I'm
Relocation
glad
is
it's a
not
happy
typically.
ending, though.
Yeah, I'm glad too. Yeah. That's a big decision.
Well, I guess it doesn't happen all that often because sometimes it's just like they just have to euthanize the bear because it's become dangerous. There is
Oh my
this
gosh, yeah,
I
it's
went to
really.
the Zoo of the Plains like it's in South Dakota. I was in South Dakota for a tour, and like so I went to the Zoo of the Plains, and they had 2 young grizzly bears who were sisters I guess they were like twin sisters, and they were
Mhm.
playing and they were really cute, and the whole story that you read about them is like their mother was like they were born in Yellowstone with their mother, but their mother like killed a hiker and then they had to like euthanize her, and so that's why they're at the zoo. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, that's so
I
sad.
know. Oh, it's sad. I've There's a book about animals and their interactions with humans that I am reading now. And what is the book called? I can't remember. But when I say I'm reading it now, I mean that I started reading it like uh 2 months ago, and then I got
Mm-hmm.
distracted, and then I need to start reading it again.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Um,
like once the weather calms down, like go to the beach and have like a little reading day.
yeah, and there was a book, not a book. There was a chapter in that book about bears and the whole process of how they have to determine if they're going to euthanize the bear. And there was a story about, I guess, one of the rangers had to euthanize the bear and the cub, and it was like
Aww.
so sad.
I mean, I couldn't do it. I
I
think
was
bears are
like,
so cute and so silly and funny, but they're also so terrifying. I don't know what I would do. I've never, I guess like knock on wood, but like I've never seen a bear on a hike. I mean, they're pretty rare like in Southern California to do that, but every once in a while they're around. We saw a bear when I was in Yellowstone, but we were like in the car and he was just like snacking on like a bush.
oh my
It was a pretty
gosh.
little bear though, not a super big bear, but I don't
Oh,
know. That would be scary because you're like, what do you
yeah.
do? Yeah, you have to have bear spray, but
Oh
I've
my
never had bear
gosh.
spray.
This is the book. It's called Fuzz: When Nature Breaks the Law by Mary Roach. And she wrote a book called
Fuzz.
Stiff. There's a book called Stiff that she wrote about like uh bodies after after a person passes them, what happens to bodies, like for like
Oh, those
medical
are
research
fun.
and things like that. Um she did one about like the spiritualism movement. I like her books. I like her writing style.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna look up Fuzz. I might get it for my parents for Christmas or something. They love stuff like that. My dad's obsessed with this book right now called Death in Yellowstone, and it's just like chronologically, like since like Yellowstone has been a national park, all the deaths that have taken place there, up until recently. It's a lot of people falling into geothermal pools. A lot of people die from falling into geothermic pools or jumping into them going, oh, it looks so warm and inviting, and then they jump in it and it's boiling water and they get their like skin boiled off.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I want to read that book.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting stuff. Interesting.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm glad Hank the Tank is doing good. Like, that's a happy ending. I would have been so upset if the news update, because I got the news update about Hank the Tank from NPR too, like the other day, and I was listening to it, and I was like, oh my God, don't say at the end of this story that they euthanize Hank the Tank, or I'm gonna
that's
have
like
a very upsetting night.
When
I'm gonna be like, so mad and upset.
When like a celebrity's name is trending on Twitter and you're like, what?
You're like, oh no, oh no.
And then it's like, happy birthday.
Oh no. Yeah. Or just that they're getting canceled for something.
Yeah.
That too. It's usually not good. Like 2 out of 3, not good.
Oh my gosh. Well, there we go. We had 2 book recommendations.
Yeah, a couple book recommendation, a couple great bears stories for you. One very sad and odd Florida murder case. There's your Florida story. There's your Florida story. It's never soup. It's never soup. I'm going to keep saying, I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. It's never soup. It's not a mannequin and it's never soup. How about that? Put that on your true crime podcast. All right. Well, I think that's all for us this week. But if you're going to Barb-en-Heimer, I think there's still some showings left. I'm gonna do an Oppenheimer with no Barbie, and then maybe I'll see Barbie again later. I don't know. I would see Barbie again in theaters. It was good enough to see again, and it's definitely a good theater movie.
I enjoyed watching it again in the theater because then I was able to see all the detail of all of the
the sets
beautiful
and everything.
Sets and the little costumes. And it's fun when you watch a movie again because you know like what is going to happen. So you're like, ooh, I can really look at like
you're noticing other things or like, I like all that too.
Mm-hmm.
No, all that's amazing. I love it. I'm going to see it again, hopefully before it's out of theaters. And yeah. Well, there you go. So that's all your news stories for the week that we found personally exciting and willing to. Other stuff happened this week. Other stuff happened. We didn't talk about it. We never will. That's what you get.
That's it.
That's it. Well, then we'll see you next week on the Florida Person Podcast. I'm Jackie Schwartz.
I'm Meg Gallagher.
Bye-bye.
And we'll see you later. Bye.
Florida Person. Florida Person. Florida Person.